Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm going to be your occupational therapist today. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out by just doing a general wrist evaluation. And in this first part, we're just going to be looking at some of the landmarks on the wrist. So we're going to start with the dorsal side of your wrist. I'm going to bring my thumb along your radius, and I'm going to feel for that radial styloid. So you can feel it right about here. And next we're going to look for Lister's tubercle. So what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to bring my thumb a little bit more medial, and I'm going to have to really feel down to be able, you're going to feel a little almost canal inside that radius. So I found your Lister's tubercle right about here. And next I'm going to point out that your ulna is right here. So we're going to find the DRUG, which is the distal radial ulnar joint. So to find that, I'm simply just going to lift your wrist up a little bit, put one hand on the ulna, one hand on the radius, and then I'm just going to move them back and forth, and your joint is going to be right in between those two bones. So, all right, now we can move on to the first CMC joint. So I'm going to take your thumb, I'm going to move my thumb along it, and I can feel right here where your thumb's a little bit movable, where your CMC joint is. And next I'm going to move to the trapezium. So that should be just on the other side of that joint, just on the proximal side. And then if you want to hitchhike for me really quick, bring your thumb up. So this is your anatomical snuff box. I can fit my tip of my thumb right in there. So on the proximal border of that, we have your scaphoid. So next we're going to move over and find your lunate. So your lunate is going to be a little medial to that scaphoid too. So I'm going to put my thumb right about here. You can feel a little soft spot near the middle of your wrist, but I'm going to have you flex that wrist for me. Perfect. And then if you want to move it side to side, if you want to deviate for me, you can actually feel that lunate inside that space. So now if we want to move, I can put this thumb on the lunate, this thumb on the scaphoid, and then there's going to be a joint right in between those two. So that's the scapholunate joint. Another way to find it is to find that Lister's tubercle again. So to bring your thumb into that radius, and I've found the tubercle, and then it's going to be distal to that tubercle. So like we said before, it's going to be right in between those two bones. So now I'm going to go back and find that lunate. If you want to move that wrist side to side for me, make sure I have the right space. Perfect. All right, and I'm going to travel down towards that second metacarpal, so right over here. So that spot right there should be your trapezoid. I'm sorry about that pronunciation. All right, and then now I'm going to move towards the base of the third metacarpal. So if I want to find that lunate again, towards the third this time, so that spot should be your capitate. And we're going to move on to the triquetral lunate joint. So that's going to be distal to your ulnar styloid. So I'm going to find your ulnar styloid, which is very prominent on you. So it's going to be distal from here. So going to be right in that area. So we know we said our lunate was right here, and then the triquetrum is going to be ulnar to that. So your joint's going to be right in between those two. And then for the last one, we have the ulnar notch. So I'm just going to reposition this camera, prop it up on here. Okay, so hopefully that's in view. And then for this one, it's going to be between your flexicarpial nares and your ulnar styloid. So we'll go back to that ulnar styloid that you can see very clearly on Allison. And then one way I'm going to have her find it is I'm just going to have her resist some wrist flexion. So I'm going to push up on her, and you should see her flexicarpial nares pop up. So we have right between these two. So I'm going to feel in between, and you can feel a little divot where that ulnar notch is.